Hello, everyone. This is Ricky, Judy, and Travis coming to you from Potomac Curling Club. This is the GNCC U18s, and we will be casting Team Hebert versus Team Oursler-Cherins. This is the game on Sheet B. On Sheet C, we have Gardner versus Clausen, and Sheet D, what is Sheet D, Judy?
Gorinova versus Chumakov.
Thank you. I couldn't quite read those from here.
Sure.
So we will be casting Sheet B, but trying to keep you up to date on the scores on the other sheets as well.
So the teams are just doing a little bit of practice, and they're going to get started soon with the first end.
Do we know which team got a hammer yet?
They know, but they haven't really indicated it to us. So as soon as there's any indication, we'll let you know.
All right, so it looks like Team Hebert has gotten the hammer with the red stones. So we'll be getting the first shot here soon.
Yep. So this is Jackson. He's leading off for the yellow team. Just going for a center guard.
So this is the fourth game, I think, each of these teams has played so far. Is that correct? This is the first.
Well, this is the fourth draw. The boys have been playing in every draw, but the girls, because there's only 3 teams, one team sits out each draw. So.
So this will be their first set of the first game of the second round robin, then, correct?
I guess that's true. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right. Also, the first stone for yellow here was in the house, not a guard.
Yeah,
not sure if that's what they were going for, or just an overshot on the first shot before they're calibrated.
Do we know the outcome of the first time these two teams played by chance? Or?
Yeah, let's see the shot come to an end, and I'll bring up the standings from the previous games.
This first shot from red here looks like it's pretty heavy as well. It's going to end up pretty much right on the tee line.
Yep. So that might just be a little bit of fast ice at the beginning of the game here.
Here's the men's standings so far. There are 4 teams. Currently, Team Clausen is at 3 wins, and the other 3 teams are all tied with 1 win and 2 losses.
All right, let's see. Team Hebert is out of Wayland, Massachusetts, and Team Oursler-Cherins is from Plainsfield, New Jersey.
3-4. Make sure it's a 5. Make sure. Yeah.
So this shot looks much. Looks like they're trying to freeze right onto the red rock there. I don't know if they're going to get all the way.
Yep, some good effort from the sweepers, but not quite there.
Yeah, I think they might have stopped believing for a second, though. You know,
you can't stop believing.
You can never stop believing.
So it's a little tricky from our overhead cam to see. It's not quite straight on, but it looks like it's outside.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it looks like it's outside the house. Which is might as well be outside at this point, so it's so they can't take it out on this shot. Unlikely that it would score.
Here we go. Looks like they're trying to draw behind that first Yellowstone, possibly.
You know, and light hit and roll.
Well,
No,
they're past
just
it.
drawing right behind it.
And they got the shot rock now, and it looks just about probably 2/3 covered, I'd say.
Yep, that
From
is
here?
not a bad stone.
Yep. I would think yellow is probably going to try to freeze on top of it, though. Yeah, it looks like what Skip's calling for there. They can freeze it on there. That'll do a really good job of at least holding them to one stone here or possibly stealing. So. I do like this guy's American flag knee-high socks.
Oh, the
He's got-
socks.
Yeah,
He's got some patriotism going on.
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's part of the uniform, but you will notice that all of the teams have matching uniforms of sorts.
Indeed. I've seen the fun pants in curling before. I have not seen the fun socks.
Right, so that went out through the back of the house.
Oh, that was a flash. That's unfortunate. All right, looks like they're calling for a hit on that yellow stone in the house. Getting a little bit aggressive since they have 2 in the house already.
Yeah, I guess their idea here is if they can take that one out, they'll have 3 in the house and really start putting the pressure on yellow here. Needs to move though.
It really does. This might
They
be
might
a
hit their
flash.
own. No, it's gonna. Okay. Yeah, I think they saw they were gonna miss there, and they swept it straight to make sure they didn't clip their own, which was a good call, because that would have been
Indeed, good
fairly
adjustment.
disastrous.
All right, well, 2 stones through the house here. No harm, no dunk, no foul.
So I see we have 11 viewers so far on our live stream.
Excellent. Hello, viewers.
And we're starting to get comments. Feel free to write comments to us in the chat window, and we will try to give questions. We'll try to find out the answers, or trivia about the players is always welcome.
Excellent. Looks like we have Shaheen's, I guess, aunt or uncle, not sure, on the stream watching. He is the lead for Team Hebert. All right, we got to sweep this hard to get it in. It looks like it is not far enough to get to scoring.
I think it's going to be out counting that red rock on the right side of the house there, from what I can tell. But that's,
Certainly doesn't help if that red rock in the white stays counting.
yeah, for sure. Definitely won't matter then. But
Looks like they're going for a hit and roll behind that cover.
I think
that
they might be
yellow
going
just
for
threw.
the double,
Oh, you're right. That is opposite
Yeah.
handle of what I was
Which,
expecting.
which is I always approve of the double takeout. So
So hitting the rock on the right first, and then
yep.
going left.
Looks like it's curling a bit much for the double, but they are
Yep.
going to
Yeah,
get
they
that
clear.
front stone out.
I got one out, and stuck around.
Yep, they stuck around, so there's definitely room to get that other yellow stone out, depending on what yellow does in this rock.
How much can you see? I like here. All right, I like that. Give me normal.
All right, this is the yellow Vice's first stone. This is Elijah.
Nice. Yeah, Michael. Hold it.
Looks like they're trying to sneak past their stone possibly and take out the red shot rock.
Yep. They have a path. They don't need to hit it very hard. Oh,
Oh, didn't quite get there.
that's unfortunate.
It is.
Spilled out their own rock there.
Yeah.
I think that was a reasonable call. Just
Yeah,
had
just-
that definite risk
This is
there.
always the worst way to miss, when
Yep.
you knock out your own rocks and your opponent sits 3.
We have all done that many a time, I'm sure.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think I like the call. It was an aggressive play, which I'm sure they knew, but their shot was there. They could have gotten it, so I like the aggression. No
All right.
need to hold back.
First rock coming up from Benjamin, the Vice on Team Hebert.
I think it's gonna need to curl a lot.
Guessing they're just trying to guard their shot rock here.
Yeah, I think they might even just kind of keep everything open and split is best, so that anything yellow throws in they can take out.
Yeah. This seems like a lot of ice for this call, but we'll see.
Looks from my angle pretty fast. Yeah, I think it's going to go straight through. It's a little bit heavy.
Yep. First shot of the game, just getting adjusted. It happens.
Yep, that was his first 5 shots for him.
All right, and yellow is going for the freeze here, which is a great call, in my opinion.
Yeah, they really could use a freeze here to be able to keep up. Because if they just put a stone, if they put it anywhere else, it's going to be wide open to get taken out here. So they really need a solid freeze to try to pull back this end.
Indeed. Again, I think a little too much ice on this line for what they were going for.
Yeah, it's going to be just a bit heavy, I think. Yeah.
Yep. I liked that weight if they were just a little bit narrower on the ice call.
Yeah. A little less weight, I think, also would have gotten it over enough.
Sure.
But, yeah, ice probably is.
Actually, I don't win this.
All right, a normal weight takeout here.
Would be really good for red if they can hit it on the nose and stick around, but just getting it out is really good here, too. Very important they don't hit their own stone here,
I was
too.
going to say, we need some effort on
which they're
sweepers
on
here,
it.
potentially.
Oh,
And
nicely
that's
done.
great stone.
Yeah,
Well
they that was like perfectly. It was probably within a half an inch of hitting their stone, which was just enough to keep it hitting the nose of the yellow and get it to stick around.
Indeed. Looks like there's potentially a double here for yellow.
There's always a double if you try hard enough, Ricky.
There's a reasonable double. It's wide open.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Benjamin on Team Hebert confused me a little bit there. Thought he was someone else. I think he went down to the T-shirt for the series shot.
Does he have a shark hoodie on?
Yes, that team all have shark hoodies.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes,
I like
that's part
it.
of their uniform.
That is a great uniform.
So he.
Must be-
Oh, I think he's going for the freeze here,
Yep,
Ricky, which
Just going
actually
for the freeze.
that makes a lot more sense too, because even if they make that double, they're going to lose their stone for it. So
Indeed.
they really need a freeze.
Yeah, we were thinking of the Friday night nonsense call.
Yeah, where cool shots are more important than scoring points. Yeah.
Yeah, these are much more serious curlers than than
Ooh,
that.
and that's just going to get
step
past
back.
there.
I think you're right, though. I think they need just less ice on a lot of these shots here.
Maybe like 90.
Oh, man, we're now up to 17 people watching. That's
I see that, and it turns out that is Shaheen's aunt, so welcome to the stream.
4-0 works.
All right, first rock from Ethan Hebert here.
so I think what they're calling for here is kind of a top-of-the-house guard of those two in the back, it looks like. I think the idea being they're trying to block the freeze.
Sure, so
I think we'll see
a
how.
little more towards the center than perhaps right in front.
Yeah, they don't really need to block the takeout too much because if yellow takes them out, they can just take them out. But they do want to block the freeze because that they wouldn't be able to counter very easily.
Yeah, that would presumably just cut them to one.
Or steal potentially if they miss their last shot.
Yeah, Shaw, you go.
True, and we have seen a few missed shots this end so far.
They give a lot of ice.
Whoa.
Yep,
It
they
is a
are
much-
sweeping it to keep it a little bit straight there,
It's
too.
much slower than the last few shots though, so I think ice call is going to be
Top of the 4-foot.
yeah.
Yep, that's a great shot. That'll prevent the freeze to those two in the back there, and you know, touching the 4-foot is definitely good to prevent being out counted in the next shot.
I think the freeze is still there coming from the other side, but because of the way those two stones are situated with each other, that's a much harder angle. You don't have as much of a backboard to land on. You're only going to really have the one stone to freeze on instead of both.
Yep. And honestly,
which-
I don't even think they're going to try for the freeze. I think they're just trying to draw an out count here and hopefully sit so that they can't be easily taken out.
It's going to be pretty hard for them. It's going to be hard to get to draw and to get behind, you know?
Certainly. All right, so this is
This is yellow's last shot.
yep, this is Jackson's last shot. That would be the skip, of course, of the yellow team. And I am not too optimistic on this shot. It looks very wide.
Yeah, it's going to need to move
It's
a
pretty
lot.
heavy too.
Oh, no, it's actually...
Oh, okay. We're
Yeah,
all
see,
wrong.
they
hey,
went-
we
they
were
went for
all
That was
horribly, horribly
That
wrong.
was a beautiful shot.
It
Yeah,
was.
see, they went for the freeze, like I said.
I think red is still shot stone, but
Yeah.
yellow is cut them down to 1.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard to get out of there.
I forget that our view from here, where we're sitting at the caster desk, we are kind of between sheets B and C, so we're a little bit angled. which misled me a little bit on what the path that stone was taking was. So very nice shot by Jackson to potentially cut red down by a couple. There is certainly a takeout there to pop it out past the red stones and sit for 5 or 6 if they stay around.
And I mean, even if they take out 2 of their own stones and getting that yellow stone out, they still have the potential to get 4.
Right.
Like even if they knock out every red stone around there, getting that yellow stone out is worth it. So.
Yep.
So I think they're going to hit it or try. It's just a matter of how much can stick and if they can get it. So it's like a normal weight takeout.
Yep. Got the sweepers on.
Yeah. Enthusiastic sweeping call from the vice here.
Yep. It looks like it might be over curling and is going to
pop the other side.
One in the back.
Oh,
there.
wow.
Ooh. So there you go. There's that worst case scenario.
So now it's quite hard to tell who's shot.
Yeah, that might have.
For us and them.
Indeed.
Yeah, they might need to measure this. Although I think it's
I'm
yellow.
guessing it's yellow from the view of our overhead cam, but there is a little bit of an angle on that. So we'll have to see what they put up on the board.
I'm thinking yellow from. Let's see.
Okay.
Yep, yellow.
And it is one yellow. That was an excellent save for an end that looked like it could have been fairly disastrous.
Yeah, that was with 1 stone left. Yellow was in really bad shape, and then they ended up stealing. So that's very good comeback.
Yep. Credit to the skip there. Yeah, you can't you can't assume that your opponent's going to mess up, but it's always good to at least make them make a shot.
So we have scores. I'm just updating them.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Clausen scored 4
Yep.
on sheet C.
Yep. And then over on sheet D, Gornova scored 2 in the first end. All right, we're going for a center guard here. I couldn't quite see what Skip indicated if he actually wants it in the house or not, but I would assume it is a guard to get that nice free guard. For anyone watching who doesn't follow curling closely, the first 4 shots, correct, are free guards.
That's right.
So this ended up in the house, but the idea behind a free guard is that if you put up a guard, which is a stone that doesn't make it to the house, hence guarding anything that is in the house behind it, the first few shots, the guards are, quote, free guards, which means if the other team hits them and takes them out before their 5th stone, you get to put them back, essentially. So you can't just start clearing things out from your first rock if you're shooting hammer.
Yep.
So for any of our viewers who are interested in, we'll be having the total scores up on the broadcast, but if you want to go to curlingzone.com, you can follow along what the scores are on all 3 sheets as soon as we can update them after each end. Curlingzone.com, and on the left side, you can scroll down and find a link for these events.
Yep. And first shot there by Team Bear. I believe they were going for a little bit wider of a guard, but that did end up being a guard with a little bit of sweeping help. Fairly close to the house.
We just got a comment on the broadcast that we're a bit quiet.
Ah.
Okay. Turned up the mics. I hope that's better.
Indeed, and thank you for the comments, people who are viewing the stream.
Hi, Frank.
Oh, hi, Frank. All right, a good rock here by yellow. It's probably going to be about half behind that cover, so certainly still able to be taken out. But looks like red is just going for a stone on the tee line there.
I think they're trying to not quite split, but throw a wide tee line.
Yep.
Shot here. Draw here.
Indeed. Yeah, you can't. It's not splitting the house if you only have 1 rock in, but setting themselves up to do so later in the end.
Yeah. What's the first part of the split called?
A rock.
Fair enough.
And that looks like a good shot. Might
Maybe
be
a little
just a
fast.
tad past the tee line.
I think it's going out.
Yeah, by tad past the tee line, I meant a tad past the back line. So
Look, Ricky, there's a reason we never listen to your weight calls.
this is a fact. My Thursday skip is watching the stream, and he knows not to listen to me on weight calls. yellow is going for the shot that red just missed. So they may know the line and the weight a little bit better for having seen red just try and make this. That looks like it was definitely wide of where the skip was holding the broom.
Yeah, that's
going
that
way
might
out
be on
towards
the edge
side.
of the edge of the sheet even. It could end up in sheet A.
Yep, this is where you pull out the pocket sand.
Yeah.
Oh, and that just hooked real hard over there.
Yep.
That's out.
That'll be something to watch for later in the end if that keeps happening.
Yeah, I think it was just that it was so far out there that line's unpredictable. Although the skip's looking at the rock, he looks like he
Looking a
thinks
little
it might have
skeptical.
picked on something.
Indeed. That can happen. For anyone watching the stream, again, trying to explain a little terminology. Pick is basically just when a bit of hair or lint or something gets under the rock and essentially just digs in and slows down the rock and makes it curve way more than you expected.
Yeah. Or the opposite direction that you expect to.
Or that it can actually reverse direction and just be completely ridiculous.
It happens sometimes. It's
And that's part of what sweepers are for, is to clear out anything that might be in the way in front of the stone.
We've got a comment in the chat window. Apparently there's maybe a change in the team lineup, but that is the current lineup for
okay.
Jackson,
Oursler-Cherins.
Michael, Jeffrey, Elijah. Ah, there we go. Okay.
We may
got it.
have
You wanna
written that
just-
down incorrectly. Thank you for the
We
correction.
may have. All right, so Jackson is actually the lead. Elijah is skipping. Second is Michael. And the third is Jeffrey. So let me reorder that on my sheet here.
Meanwhile, the shot for yellow here is going to end up just out the back of the house, or maybe biting. Looks like it's out from here. I can't be sure, but I think it's out.
I'm fairly certain that
Yeah,
is
it's-
out. So a nice trip hazard there.
Yeah. Yeah, right in the most inconvenient spot possible for the skips to trip over.
So we have a call to push it.
Looks like red's going for this takeout again. I think they got it this time.
Yep, they definitely have it, and hopefully for them they stick around, which it looks like they are going to do that
Shot.
easily.
Yep. Nice shot.
That yellow's a little far off that line to act as a backboard if yellow takes this out. Should
Oh,
be
yeah.
fairly easy to get it actually out of there and not crash into their own stone in the back.
Yep. And even if it did, they'd have to hit it directly on the nose, because anything short of a nose hit on that jam is going to still roll out.
Yep, plenty of room. All right,
Oh, okay. Nice
got
split.
it out, but yellow's not going to stick around there, unfortunately.
We might see a blank this end.
It is possible.
And I guess more terminology. A blank end is when no one scores. There are no rocks in the house for either team at the end of the ends.
Still plenty of rocks left to throw, though.
Yeah.
There are, and there is
Yeah.
that guard up there for red that they can certainly draw behind, which I believe is what they are going for now.
Looks like it.
Yep. So yeah, unlikely for the blank at this point. Yeah, the reason a team might want to blank an end is if they have the hammer, say, and they're down one, and looks like they're only going to pick up 1 point, they may just choose to blank the end, keep the hammer, and try and pick up 2 in the next end.
Yeah, generally speaking, scoring 1 point with the hammer is not ideal. You usually want to try to pick up 2 or more. It obviously depends. You know, last end, if you're tied, you're good with 1 point. So, but there's a lot of times where you'd rather just score 0 and keep the hammer than take 1 point. Looks like yellow's trying to take out this redstone in here. Might be a little wide, needs to hook a bit. Oh,
and it just
that was
barely
really
squeezed past
close.
there.
Yeah,
Unfortunate.
yeah, that just missed.
Come the same way and heavy we go behind her. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
All right, so this is Benjamin again. Vice from Team Hebert.
Looks like red's going for a draw at about the 8 foot behind their guard there, which will also potentially help protect their shot rock as well, while also counting. So
Yep.
looks a bit heavy from here though.
Yeah, they may
Yeah,
end up,
they might end up hitting
tapping
them.
and splitting out a little bit from the rock they have there.
Yeah, they're gonna stick at least. So, yeah.
Ooh, and a little bit harder than perhaps would have been nice on the tap back there, but it
like
is
it's still
still
biting.
counting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And another thing too, they've pretty much replaced their other shot, but this one's probably about a good 8 inches farther over, so it is a little bit more protected by that guard now. Well, not a lot.
Yeah, from the camera angle, it doesn't really look so.
Yeah, it's closer to being behind the guard for sure. I don't know if it makes any difference though.
All right, and this is the first skip stone from yellow. Thanks to Ivo on the stream for correcting us on the order here for the yellow team. This is Elijah skipping, not Jackson, as we previously indicated. All right, going for the takeout here. Looks like pretty normal weight. Maybe a little down in control.
Long way to curl.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
got
a long
way to go.
way. I think that's going to be through.
They might get the one in the back out at least, which is scoring right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, and they will stick around as well. So that is not the worst thing that could have happened. Certainly better than just throwing through. Little update on the other sheets here. On sheet D, it looks like Goranova sitting 1 right now with a good few guards in front of it. And on sheet C, looks like Clausen is sitting with 3 in the house at the moment, with looks like 3 stones left to go in the end. So the Gartner skip is going to have to do a little bit of work here.
That's what we pay. That's what they get paid for, though, is to do work. So.
Yep, you don't pay the skips the big bucks to, you know, sit around and not do anything. Really, we just like having someone to scapegoat and blame anytime we lose. That's the skip's real job.
Yep. Thanks, Frank.
And of course, to throw those pressure shots, you know, which
Yep.
make or break the game often.
Indeed. All right, first stone for the Bears skip. It's like going for just another draw in. Have the sweepers on right now.
I think they're going for like top 8 to try to guard their stone on the button here as well.
Yep, and I think having sweepers on is definitely a good call here. This looks a little
Yeah,
slow.
it looks a little light. I'm getting all 3 of them out.
Yep, have the vice coming out to help.
Yeah.
Trying to just drag it in and get it to at
Yeah,
least
they need
bite.
another like 2 feet probably. Nope. they're
Yeah, it
not
looks like
gonna.
they're about maybe a little less than a foot short, but good effort by the sweepers.
So this does give yellow the chance to get a hit and roll behind that guard there, on their last shot here.
Yep, depending on how hard they throw and how much it curls, honestly, they could get between either of those guards.
Yeah, I think the shorter one would be better for them, as
Indeed.
it's closer to the. It's closer, so it'd be harder to get around.
Agreed.
So.
Yep, that would even that would still leave red with the draw of the button, but only for 1. I'm liking this shot so far. It needs to curl a little bit more, I think, to stick around the way they want, but that's looking very nice.
Yep, the roll is going to be
a little wide, but that is not bad at all. That is a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much guaranteed that they're not going to give up more than 1 here, which is fine when you don't have the hammer. So,
Yeah.
and if red misses the shot, they'll take 2, I think. So
That's a fact.
that's a good place to be when you're not playing with a hammer.
Our skip is now complaining on stream that he does not, in fact, get paid anything by us.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's because he hasn't made any shots either.
all right, final shot of the end here, I believe, by Ethan.
So they're looking for just touching the 4-foot here. Not even quite touching, but anything red will score.
I think that's a little heavy. They might
think they're
actually
going for the
go
promote, yeah.
indeed, on that
They're gonna
near
need to.
guard. Gonna need to sweep it? No, actually not going to need to sweep it at all. That is a nice shot as long as it actually stops.
Good effort by
A little too far.
the vice for red here. They were able to sweep that far enough to get the
For
steal.
yellow, rather, you
That
mean?
looked like
Yeah, sorry.
one yellow there.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Just a little bit too hard. Ooh, update on sheet D over here while we get set up for the next end. Gornova now has 2 sitting nicely right near the button, and again, still behind guards. So that's looking good for Gornova on D. Clausen versus Gardner just cleared out the house after that end and have not put up the score, so I don't have an update on that yet.
There's a really nice nice takeout over there on sheet C. They had 2 stones pretty much frozen on each other, and they were able to just clip the side of the one in the front and get it out of there.
So some peculiarities of competition curling is they get to take breaks. There's of course timers sitting here in the warm room timing them, making sure that their breaks are appropriately timed, but the breaks between ends and the break after the fourth.
I can't. I'm not light.
So how exactly does this timer work over here? Is that's how much time they get for the entire game, or?
No, I think they're timed on both
Never gonna get there.
breaks and
Yes,
as well
that's
as
the one.
thinking times. I
Yeah.
understand it. I haven't done the timing, so I'm not
Okay.
exactly an expert. But
Jeffrey, sweep it.
they can't spend a whole lot of time deciding every single shot. Tries to keep the game going by having actual consequences, by having a limit.
Seems fair.
So do we have scores yet? There's the score 2 on the second end on sheet C. Gardner. Team Red got 1.
And yeah, they just finished the second end on D, but they have not put up the score yet. So
Gotcha. From what I thought earlier, it looked like that was going to be 2 or 3 for Gornova. First shot we had here on B was a high guard from yellow. Looks like red is just trying to get behind that. Looks a little light perhaps to get to the house, but I can't quite tell from here. Yeah, that was short of the house. So a guard. Corner guard is quite a nice thing to have if you're a sitting hammer.
And yeah, hard. Line's not there. Yeah, hard.
All right, yellow, the skip is calling this as being a bit narrow compared to what he wanted, asking for the
Yeah.
sweep. Unless I'm hearing yelling all the way over from sheet C, and I'm completely wrong.
no, I think that's him.
And that's got it out. Oh no, it doesn't have it out the side.
So that was an interesting play there. If you notice, that was the red skip trying to sweep his own stone out of play, because if it had gone out, it would have been put back because we were still in the free guard zone that Ricky talked about earlier. It did stay in, unfortunate for him. But if that had gone another couple inches, he would have been able to put it right back where it was before it got hit.
Indeed, and that makes that actually a far better shot than I was initially thinking, because they got that corner guard out of the way, and their shooter rolled in to be a nice center guard there.
So an update on sheet D. Looks like Gornova scored 3 in the second.
So I don't know if that's exactly what red wanted on that shot. I think that may have been a little light. They ended up with a guard higher even than the yellow center guard that was already there.
Yeah, I think they wanted more of a corner guard there than a center, would be my guess.
It looks like yellow is probably trying to draw in behind these guards at this point. I think I like that weight.
Yes.
Yep, sweepers are on, trying to get it around the guards there. And it looks like it's going to crash on that red stone that was just thrown. A little unfortunate, but yellow is still controlling the front of the house at this point. Which red is now trying to rectify by taking out their guard.
Yeah, they're trying to peel the guard here on the center line.
Yep. Oh, that looks like it may have been shoved a little bit wide, and it's probably just going to go through the house.
Yeah, they're trying to directional sweep it back a bit, but
Can only do so much there.
yep. So I think that red stone actually is in the house back there, which the way with as crowded as the front of the house is right now, it may end up mattering.
Here we go. We have some clarification on the timing from our commenters online. The clock is indeed just thinking time, so basically the clock runs for a team from the moment the other team clears the field to the moment their rock crosses the tee line as they deliver. The commenter says if the team runs out of time, they lose the game regardless of what the score is. So really a heavy penalty if you're going way too slow.
Doesn't get too much heavier than automatically losing.
Indeed.
Yes, but it's not a penalty for not throwing takeouts. It's a penalty
Yeah,
for
yeah.
thinking about it too
Right.
long.
Yeah, it doesn't count how long the shot takes to go down.
Yeah, you can throw guards and draws all day. That's fine.
And from what I can tell, it looks like you have 30 minutes per game, I think. Just looking at the clock over here, and they're at 22 and 24. I think I saw them at like 28 earlier, so
Yeah.
seems like it started at 30.
Back to the game. Yellow just got a nice roll behind their guard there to sit in the house and score.
Yeah, I think actually though they were trying to draw behind, and they just wicked off of it though.
What is it, Ben? Whoa! That's right. Shaw! Hard, Shaw! Hard! Hard!
We got one sweeper on here, hard, trying to pull it across.
Yep, and they did get that yellow stone.
Great shot, Eddie. Good shot, Eddie.
Sticking around, but definitely visible to be taken out themselves if Yellow would choose to do that. Which it does look like they're doing so with that normal weight takeout. I would assume that they're trying to roll to the left behind all that cover there.
Yeah, they're trying to come across the face. Yeah, that's definitely got the weight on it.
It's got the weight. It's not going to make it to the other side of the stone.
Yeah, it's going to be on the other side and roll outward.
Yep, might even roll too much and end up out.
Ooh,
Might
Man.
still be a biter.
they might actually have to measure the outside, the opposite ends of the 12-foot here. I think both of them are just barely biting on the completely opposite ends of the house, so that'll be a fun measurement if it comes to it.
Yeah, would you even use the biter bar there, or the
I don't even-
or the measure? I'm not sure.
Hopefully it's
Measure
not
something
going
that-
to come down to it because, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. I've
the
never.
hammer shot currently still has a wide open draw to just touch
Yeah.
anything more than a biter. Hoping it won't come down to a measurement on those.
Yeah, because both of those, they're going to need to see, are they touching the house, and then are they closer than the other, even, looks like.
All right.
But nonetheless, looks like Red's going for just a draw to the button here behind that cover.
Yep, looks a little heavy.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's going to stick around in the back.
They're
Both skips were sweeping it, so.
That's always a bad sign.
Indeed.
Someone's clearly.
Right, I think Red just wanted to bury it further behind the guards, possibly.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe make it a little harder to freeze. Whereas Yellow is just trying to get it further away from the pin.
Yep. Yeah, I think getting it behind is the most important there, especially with how far everything else is from the house.
Yep.
Deeper is not ideal, but it's not as bad as if there were more stones in the house.
Sure. Yellow is going for a hack weight takeout here, so they're trying to curl enough to hit that red stone that was just thrown, knock it out of the house, and stick around.
And they got around. They just need some more movement here. Might
At least
wick it.
gonna clip it.
Yep.
That's a good shot.
Yeah,
Stick
very good.
around.
Nice shot.
They are left a little bit wider open than that red stone was, so I would assume that Red is going to take that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Red is calling the takeout, and they did just see Yellow's shot, so should have a good idea of the ice and weight to call here.
Shaw! Shaw only! Come on, Shaw, hard! Hard!
Going for the directional sweep here to pull it across a little more. Great effort from the sweeper.
That was a nice shot.
Yeah, nice. Managed not to jam on theirs in the back there. And
Yep, so red is left sitting
2 or 3.
possibly 3, depending on that biter way out there.
Yeah.
I would guess 2.
I'm going to guess 3 just to contradict you.
Fair enough.
Well, we may never know.
Yeah,
We
well,
may not, because yellow has certainly tried to take this out.
yeah, that's impossible to tell from here, though. Surprised they went for the in-turn here instead of the out-turn. I think they don't want to have to come across the stone for the roll inside, though. So
Looks like it's actually curling a good bit. This
Yeah.
might actually miss. Yeah, and there you go, right past the stone.
yeah, I think that needed a lot more weight for
It did.
that line. That looked like it was maybe just a little above bumper weight. It probably needed at least control or normal, probably.
Agreed. Especially if they were trying to stay on that left side of the face there, could have used normal weight.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were trying to stay on the left side.
All right, first skip rock here for Team Hebert. They are looking good so far in this end, sitting currently at 2. I assume they just want to guard that stone and block up that hole there.
They might just throw another one in, too.
That's true.
How's our weight, guys?
Yeah, in that line, but
It looks like a guard based on
scoring would be nice.
how slow it is right now, but we'll see.
Go, Eddie, go! Go, go! All right, whoa, 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 whoa! Leave, we don't want
Looks like it's going to be a pretty good
One
shot.
Or 3 yard, excuse me.
That still leaves that shot rock a little bit open for a takeout.
Yeah, there's a line to it, but it's not easy. I do think they did completely block the roll that yellow went for on the last shot.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't think they're
certainly.
going to be able to hit the inside of that wedge down there.
Right, you'd have to do the other turn now and come at it from the other side.
Yeah, and if they go that way, they're going to be open afterwards, probably. So
Could probably get that much curl with a lighter takeout, but it's certainly a hard shot. That was a good guard. I would have liked it maybe a foot further to the right, but nothing to complain about, really.
so yeah, I do think that's what they're going for here.
Yep, it was called wide from
Mhm.
down there, and I would agree with that looking at it right now.
It's got a chance to come back. No, it's gonna hit on their own guard there.
Yep.
Yeah, that actually is quite unfortunate because it hit on the inside of their guard. So now they blocked their shot at that takeout again. I think there's probably a port just big enough for a stone that went straight through there to hit the one in the back, but
Yeah, that would
That's
have to be
an
a rocket
exceeding-
to stay that straight.
yeah,
though.
that's an exceedingly difficult shot.
Maybe not a rocket, but you know.
Was that a pun on rock or just a bad joke?
Oh, I'm not that witty. I was gonna go with jet instead of rocket, but I decided to just let the joke die until you resurrected it.
Oh, it was dead the whole time.
All right, well, here we go. This is the Hammerstone. They would have to do a lot to mess up getting at least 2, and probably pretty easily going to pick up a 3rd here.
Yeah. You could hear the vice there calling for the sweepers to change the other who was on the stone and who was on the ice. Doesn't look like it matters. It was
really
quite
light.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think it made it to the hog line.
Yeah, really they had thrown no stones yet on that wide line there, and yeah, it was just a little bit light.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot light.
Looks like we're going to get that measurement we wanted so badly. So
Yep, so red's picking up at least 2 here.
place your bets in the YouTube comments now. Yeah, I also realized talking about that port was kind of irrelevant because yellow didn't have another shot, so.
Indeed, yeah, minor details. You do run out of rocks at some point.
Yep.
So an update looks like on sheet C, Clausen got 2 in the third.
So that puts them at 6-1 in the fourth end right now. Third end over on sheet D is still ongoing, I believe. Looks like they're down to their last rock. Exciting times. We get a
All
measurement.
right, we got one bet on yellow.
It is so hard to tell from the overhead cam, but
Yes.
I'm going to have to go with yellow as well, personally.
We got another on yellow.
I'm staking my reputation as a first-time curling caster on it.
That's a lot to put on the line there, Ricky.
It is.
Do we have a score yet on D? No.
Nope. No, they're still playing the
Oh,
third
okay.
end.
Yes.
Right. So red has at least 2 here. So we'll see.
Let's bring up the overhead cam.
Looks like the YouTube comments are in agreement on yellow. So
Well, our ace official, Alan McNeil, is out there doing the measurement.
Oh, that is Alan. I couldn't quite tell from here.
interesting. Okay. This is always the most fun part of any curling match. The measurement doohickey is very fun to use.
It's a very technical term.
Yeah, it's
All right, update on sheet D. It looks like Shumakov scored 3 in the fourth end. Sorry, third end.
They scored 4 in the third end, actually.
Too many numbers. 4 in the third end.
So that puts that at 5-4 with Goranova still in the lead, but a much closer game than it looked like in the first 2 ends. Good pick up there.
man, that looks close. They're actually having to. The needle is hitting at least, so they have to count how far the needle gets pushed. Oh man, they're gonna have to go around again.
This is really just the height of excitement here in the Potomac Curling Club.
This is
U18 arena.
probably the hardest measurement I've ever actually seen. 'Cause I mean, the stones couldn't really be too much further away from each other.
Yeah. Looks like it's yellow.
Looks like it's yellow. Yep.
So that makes the score 2 red, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
So that's 2-2 now.
Yep, that'll put us tied at
That's
2
right.
going into the fourth end.
I'd be really interested to know what the actual distance there was. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of shot that's probably only a millimeter different.
Oh yeah, if that probably. I mean, if they had to count the little spinny thing, I think is like less than a 32nd of an inch or something. I don't. It's small.
Nice. The curlometer.
Yeah, the curlometer. There you go. The curlometer.
A curlometer is, of course, a metric unit.
Yeah, curling being a sport invented in Scotland clearly uses the metric system for everything.
Well, I think it was kind of a weird combination of systems there.
Uh-oh.
We've modernized, we don't use corn brooms or brooms actually made of straw now either.
I thought there was going to be a broom dropping epidemic there. I saw a couple people, but it did not spread all the way around all 3 sheets, it appears.
For anyone not familiar, tradition or whatever dictates that when somebody drops their broom on the ice, oftentimes the entire rest of the arena will all drop their brooms in solidarity or, perhaps making fun of them.
It's both.
We'll go with solidarity.
Yeah.
Sounds nicer.
Yeah, I saw a few, but not quite everyone.
All right, so red through a center guard, as one would expect. Nice and tight there onto the house. Yellow throwing a corner guard, again, as one might expect. However, it
It looks like
it
it's
is
out.
short of the house.
Yeah.
So still a guard, cannot be taken out quite yet. And red's getting aggressive, going for the draw into the forefoot, it looks like, behind their guard. I like that call. Just put up a nice guard. Just go for it.
Yeah, this is something our team always struggles with, is when every time someone puts their second shot, their first shot on the center line guard and their second shot right behind it on the button, we always struggle with this. So I like the call here. Looks like they missed a bit.
Yep, not quite what ended up happening.
Yeah,
That
they did
first stone is still a guard.
they did promote theirs onto the tee line about 3 feet out.
All right, Yellowstone. Comes in. Looks like it might get a good chunk of that redstone and a nice
Roll,
in.
yeah.
Not behind any cover, but nice and close to the button. Certainly going to be taken out by red, who is looking for the roll behind cover.
Yeah, this at this point in the end, it's shaping up to be a contest to see who can get the first hit and roll.
Of course, rolling too far over, still plenty of room to draw in and freeze to it. So could have an interesting end. This looks like it's over curling a bit to me. From
Yeah,
this angle, but I think
they
they're
might go
still
for the
getting-
wick off the guard. Nope.
Yeah, that might just be
That's
through.
past it.
Yep.
Oof. That's rough. So yellow here can now put one at the top of the house, counting, and guard that nice stone by the button there.
Yeah, this is the opening they need to try to get to here, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. You want that stone to be pretty high in the house, keep the double pretty difficult. A little too close, and they can start shooting for that double. Shot looks nice and on broom from what I can see here. Straight towards that shark hoodie.
It's a good hoodie.
Yep. Sweepers are off. Looks maybe a tad heavy, actually.
Yeah,
Might
it's
end
moving
up,
a lot now, though. But yeah,
Might
definitely
end up
heavy.
behind that. Might be swept through.
Yeah, it's gonna
Wow.
go out.
All right.
I like the line call. Like it was.
Yep, it
right
ended
in
up where
line
it
with
should
it.
have been. Well, that's really you're just being polite and throwing through since the previous shot was through.
Is that how it works?
Oh, of course.
That's what I do.
Intentional every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I throw through and I see, well, I remember that one from 3 weeks ago that somebody else did it. I was just trying to make them hit that.
Oh, this
Sounds
one
plausible.
this one looks like it's gonna do the exact same thing as the
Yep.
last one.
Yep, that's still an over curl compared to where they wanted to hit it.
Getting
Yeah.
a fast line over there.
Would have hoped that they maybe adjusted a little bit better after the first one.
The precision is there.
Indeed. Now just need the accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going for the same thing again here for yellow. A little bit less ice, it looks like. That weight looks fairly similar. No, that's definitely lighter. I'm lying.
Yeah, it's a good bit slower. Although I think it's still probably past the tee. I think. Oh no,
No,
it'll be
little
right
short
about
of
on
the
the
tee.
tee. Okay, that's a good shot.
Yeah. It's not super close to that first one.
The double is definitely there right
The
now.
dream is
straight
there.
straight down the center line.
Yeah.
I
The dream
think.
is there. It's not super easy.
You gotta hit it just right.
Indeed. If that had been touching the button, say, that would be an easy double, but it's far enough away to be a little difficult.
It's as there as it's ever going to be, I think, though, for a hard shot like a double. They're going for it, so.
Yep. This is a nice normal weight takeout.
Yeah, a lot of weight.
Coming down here pretty quick.
Needs to move a bit, though, because I think they wanted to come all the way across.
Yep, I was surprised they had anyone sweeping it off.
I think they were trying to directional sweep it a bit, I think.
Yep, might be going for more of the wick off than the. Yep. All
They
right,
got
so
one.
they got one,
Mhm.
and looks like they'll stick around. So that
Mhm.
is certainly not the worst outcome. and our stream is just a few seconds behind, so I just got to watch that again.
Unfortunately, our
top-down
software is
view.
not set up to do instant replay, but we've got a delay, so we've got an iPad in front of us. We can see
Yeah.
it.
So I think yellow is trying to pretty much put that stone back. So this looks quite slow, so it's probably going to be a much higher guard. It's curling a ton though. Wow, it's really moving.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna
hit
be all
or
the way
short
over.
of that red guard.
Yeah, it'll block a little bit.
Not terribly useful, however.
Yeah, it blocks the in-turn takeout.
Yep. So
Alright.
no need to go for a double here anymore. Just need to hit the stone, which should be fairly easy. They are looking for the roll to the left behind that cover again, I believe,
Yeah.
which would be a nice split of the house.
Yep. They wanted to come across the face of the rock. This does look like it was a little bit wide. I think it's going to get it, but probably not the roll.
Of course, splitting the house isn't quite as nice when you don't have the hammer.
They got it out and they stuck around. So.
They did. Good shot.
Yep.
All right, yellow going for the takeout here. I believe the handle they threw, they may be getting ambitious to go for the double here. Would certainly be a difficult double.
Yeah, that is ambitious. But I think they, oh, nice.
Nice shot.
Wow, yeah,
Very
they made
nice.
it. I don't know that they got that red one
Yeah,
out,
the red
but
is
they
definitely
nudged it.
still
They're
biting.
certainly out counting it.
Yeah, they're certainly out counting it. Yeah, that was aggressive, and that worked out well.
Yep, good shot there.
Yeah.
Let's see, I believe that was Jeffrey, their vice. So good shot by him. All right. A lot of takeouts this end. Of course, we're going
So-
for one again here by red.
This is a much trickier shot than it looks, too. Making a takeout all the way on the outside here on a line that you probably haven't thrown at all yet today is a lot harder than it looks.
It's looking pretty good.
They've got it,
now.
though.
Yeah, he drilled it, but
Yep. And a
That
nice
was-
roll in there.
That was
yeah,
an
that
excellent
was not as easy as it looked.
Yep. Looks like, yeah, looks like they're going to try and freeze to that. So first shot, I believe, by Elijah here in this end, going for the freeze. I think I like that call.
The
That
freeze?
line, yeah, it seemed like
Yeah.
people hadn't been having that much luck on that line for the takeouts, and with it being even deeper, you can get a little bit more curl and might just be worried about, you know, over curling and just shooting through. Certainly better to have a stone on the ice than not on the ice. All right, looks like they're saying that that has the weight to get there. Sweepers get to be lazy. That is coming back. It's looking like that's going to be a pretty nice shot. Very nice shot. Not quite freeze, but stayed there. Sitting shot. And has the red for a bit of a backboard there if they were to try to take out.
Got to it? Got to it, right? Yeah, Ethan.
There is, of course, certainly a line to get the takeout. You just saw the vice holding his broom on the left side of that stone. Could hit it there, pop it out past the red, and hopefully stick around and be scoring. That would leave red with 2 since their one in the back there is biting, and maybe 3 since I think the one on the right is biting as well.
looks like over on sheet C that they have finished early.
Yep, I think that Gartner probably shook after another pretty big end by Clausen. No? Just a break?
Oh, it's just a break?
Did they?
Oh,
I think they're just taking a break. They take a break after the fourth.
Okay.
Got it.
They shook.
I saw them shaking hands, but it,
And I see snacks out there, so.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the final score on sheet C of 8-1
There we
for
go.
Clausen.
Yep, 8-1.
All right, I will declare that final.
And
meanwhile over here, it looks like Red got the takeout they were looking for and the nice roll. So they are currently sitting 3. This is the hammer
Yep,
shot
that
for
was a nice
yellow
shot by
here. Big shot here. They need to take one.
Yep, looks like they're just going for the draw to the button. You know, if he's a little bit heavy but still on line, got that red for a nice little backboard there.
This is definitely where the skips make their big bucks.
Indeed.
Might need some help getting there. Sweepers are on it. Looks like they're going for the triple sweep.
Ooh, and that does look light.
Yeah, that's.
Might be able to drag it to at least outcount the red in the back.
Yeah, they can
they're not
outcount
gonna
2
take shot.
potentially. Yeah.
All right, so they're at least cutting red down to 1.
Yeah, no, that's big. I appreciate the effort from the skip there, catching up to his own rock and helping sweep himself.
So lose 1. They retain the hammer.
Yeah. So we have the halftime sheet cleaning here for a couple minutes.
All right, we'll just take a break there for a couple minutes.
Just to say again for anybody that wasn't listening when we said this originally, we are in the break after the fourth end, and we will return with the broadcast in a few minutes. All right, looks like the teams are getting back out on the rink and getting ready to start the fifth end, so we'll get the live feed back up here momentarily.
I have to tell you that my family's at home and thinks that the three of you are hilarious. Love your commentary. They actually called me several times. They told me to put it on YouTube. I wish you would put it into the gloves because it's really hilarious. Keep up the
I don't.
commentary.
If you could, there is a Chromecast on that TV.
Well, it would be fun to put it up there because you guys are hilarious. At least, and so I put it up on YouTube so I can watch it on my computer. And you guys, yeah, and you guys are funny. You guys are funny. So keep up the good luck.
All right, here we go. First shot of the fifth end. We can only assume that they are going for a guard. Looks like we've got 3 people on it sweeping. And yeah, I actually guess they did want that in the house since they were sweeping that.
Everyone knows that the third sweeper is the threshold for really getting it down there.
Another place where the skipper earns his big bucks is, you know, when he comes out to help for the sweep.
I think it's even more impressive when the person throwing the stone catches up to it and sweeps it.
Impressive, but indeed with a non-zero risk of falling on your face, being on that Teflon slider.
Yeah, well, just don't do that.
Solid plan. And yellow here going for a corner guard. Try and set themselves up for later in the end. And looks like a pretty good guard. Looks fairly high.
But this is okay. That's okay. It's okay. Throw the same weight, Shaw.
All right, Red is throwing another onto that center line.
Oh, Ben. Mike, you turned it in. Where? Freeze.
Yep, looks like they're trying to freeze to their own first stone there.
Whoa, Ben, Ben.
Can't quite see it. Well, looks like it's going to be pretty close to the freeze. Maybe a bit short. No, that's going to be right on there.
Yep, that's a good stone.
Actually a little bit heavy, if anything.
It is, yeah, not quite the freeze, but 2 stones, top of the house.
It's times like this that I wish I was taller so I could see over the better view.
Indeed. Definitely room for a double there. You can just kind of nail that first one as long as your nose are a little bit to the right.
They're going
Hit 'em
for
both
it.
out.
Yeah, and even if they just hit it
Ooh,
hard
that's
enough.
a very wide stone. That's probably just going to be passed.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're going for like a hard takeout like that, you know, you can tend to shove it a little bit, and that ends up shoving it wide.
There's also you need to throw it so hard that you lose a bit of control. So it's easy to end up a little bit wide because you're throwing it faster than you normally would. And
Yep, and that's just something that comes with experience. You know, these people are all U18 and are all impressing me quite a bit so far with their play.
I mean, they're all better than you, so.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Wait only.
think they're going for the draw behind their first 2 stones here, which is a call that I like. It seems from here that it might be a little bit light for that. And
Yeah.
it's probably going to end up hitting that stone on the right there.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for try to just promote now.
Yep.
I don't even.
If
I
it
don't know
even
if it's going to
makes
get
it
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're,
this might
they're going
just
to
be
guard
guard.
it though. Yeah, they ended up guarding straight along there, so that's certainly not bad.
Yep. And, you know, there's certainly a takeout from the left there, but I think the double is certainly much harder from that end.
Yeah,
That
if they
side
want to
of
do
it.
the double here, they're going to have to hit the one in the back first, kind of bounce sideways-ish and push it back.
That's literally impossible. I
mean, no,
think
no,
you'd
you
have
can
to
make it go
clip the,
sideways.
I think you'd have to clip the first one on the side.
No, that's going to send it out to the other side then. It's not going to hit the one in the back. They could hit the one in the back and go like straight laterally and clip the underside of that one.
All right, well, either way, all of our speculation will soon be moot as
Yep.
they hit the back stone, and instead of taking it out, they move it off to the right. So no longer behind cover, however, not quite what they were looking for. Red is probably throwing a stone to guard that stone that was just moved. I would assume that they want to at least bite the house to be counting as well as guarding that.
Yeah, they're calling for top 12
Actually,
here.
yeah, it looks like they're calling for...
No, they're calling for what you said, I think. I think he just pointed to the other side when he said top 12.
I think they were deliberating over whether to block the draw in from that left side.
Oh, I got you.
But now they're going for what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Looks a tad
Nope.
heavy.
Skip is very adamantly calling the sweepers off as
Yep.
they wanted to be on it.
Yep, and I think that's the right call here.
Yeah, I agree, because they need to not clip this corner guard, which they are going to miss.
They may actually hit that stone and bump it up.
Yeah,
which
they're
is
going
not
to promote
terrible.
it, I think, or maybe use it to roll inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, little bit of hit. That
Well, there's
looks-
another double
yeah, I
for
was
you if
about
you
to
want
say.
it.
Yep, that's pretty doubleable.
Doubleable?
Yep.
That's the official terminology?
Yep, that is a great word that is definitely real. And, yep, definitely going for this.
Yep.
Again, just have to be able to throw that high weight.
Yeah, he's
Still
looking for a
aiming.
lot of weight. He is the boom touching the center of the stone pretty much. And he threw, there's a lot of weight on that.
Yeah, it is. I think it's
Little
just gonna
bit
be
wide.
again. It might get the back one.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
it
got the
does.
one in the back. All right.
So not a total waste of a stone, certainly. You know, I think that those patriotic socks really helped get that back stone and keep it from going way wide.
I agree.
I think most of our stream views are a little more top down. I'm not sure if everyone can see the socks there, but they're
They should be able to see it on the
American flag.
slide out, I think, or at least in the sweeping when he's down at the other end.
Yep.
Probably more when he's sweeping than when he's throwing.
yeah. Red is going for pretty much the same thing they threw last time. They want a high guard. You can hear him saying, "We want a 1." That
Yeah.
basically means a very high guard near the hog line.
Yeah,
It's going to be heavier compared to that. But
it's
I
going to
think
end
the
up
line is
kind of
gonna
like
be
the
fine.
last stone, pretty much, I think. Yeah, it's
Yep. Oh, and that.
very similar to the last stone.
Yep. That's
That's harder to double, for
It
sure,
is, I was
because they're
gonna
in
say,
line.
It's not frozen, but it's close enough and in line enough that that's a difficult double.
Yeah,
They're probably, so we called appeal, they're probably just trying to get that first one out. Obviously, it's great if they hit the second one as well.
yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get them both, even if they hit them both. The first one's just going to jam and pop back. But they can definitely get one here. I mean, it doesn't hurt to hit 2.
Yep.
I think that weight's a little bit down off on peel, but the line looks like it's going to hook back, I think.
Not so much
Yep.
hook, but they'll get one
Yeah,
out.
see.
Unfortunately, that
Jam.
front one rolls a little bit behind cover, which is not great. So yellow's probably looking at trying to draw behind all of this mess at this point. I'm not sure if they can really do much getting to those 2 front stones.
Yeah, I don't think they've thrown that line in a long time,
They haven't, that left
and
draw.
if at all. Yeah,
And that
maybe
left
once or
draw,
twice this game.
Right. Red is definitely talking about throwing a stone to block that left draw as well here, so we'll have to see how successful they are.
Yeah.
Like you said, this line pretty fresh for this end. We didn't do a pebble nip after the 4th, obviously, but they did run the mop over it to clear up anything that might be, picking on a stone and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The stone looks pretty good. It might actually overcurl a little bit, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it definitely cuts out a little bit there, although.
Yeah,
Actually,
that draw's definitely still there.
yeah,
That's not what they wanted.
Yeah, they wanted that a good bit wider, probably about 2-ish feet wider, I would say.
Oh yeah, 2 feet wide would have been great.
Yeah, so they're going to go for that draw here.
Yep, pretty much throwing the same ice as was just thrown.
Yeah, faster for sure.
Yep.
Although it is interesting, they are, as you get out that
hard to
wide,
tell.
you start to hit the part of the ice that's just less thrown over, and it does slow down a lot. So sometimes you need to overcorrect.
Yep, I think they definitely have the weight here, and actually probably
Yeah,
too much,
I think
overcompensating a little bit for that wide.
it's going to end up deep in the house.
Yep.
Oh man,
That's
we
hard to
we might
tell
need
with the
another
angle,
measure.
right? Especially with the angle the top-down camera is at, that yellow might actually be out-counting that red, would be my guess.
It's really hard to
And,
tell.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not behind any cover, so red
I'm
is
gonna
going for the takeout here.
I'm gonna double down my money on red. I think I went with them earlier, so maybe the next time it'll work. So,
If anyone else wants to bet in the chat window.
yeah.
And we're saying, you know, again, for anybody who missed that, we're saying betting on which stone there is counting, not on the outcome of the game here. We're not taking sides.
Absolutely. We are impartial.
I have a feeling that we're never gonna get this measurement because this red stone looks like it's going directly at that yellow stone in the back.
Yep.
So this might all be for naught.
I agree. Probably not going to stick around.
Nope.
Yeah, they're out, but still sitting too.
Well, now everyone can be right because no one can be proven wrong. So.
That was a nice shot.
We will not collapse the superposition of stone states there with the measurement. Hey there, physics joke for you.
Yeah, that was really good, Ricky. Tell it again. So this is the first skip rock for yellow here.
Yep.
They're going for that draw again.
Yep. Should have a little bit better of an idea what to do here, although of course the Vice threw that last one.
Yep.
Hopefully he told Skip exactly what to do, and he's going to do it.
That looks a little slow to me. We'll see if that's accurate, but it looks a little slow.
Yep. Of course they can sweep it, but
Yeah,
trying to get behind cover.
They're trying to get behind. They're
Right.
waiting for it to break before they sweep.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Is with trying to get behind cover, you really wanted to curl first and then sweep it deep behind the cover, which they did not quite get. I
Yeah.
think that's just a little too much ice for
Yeah.
the line here for what they're trying to go for.
And the reason they didn't sweep that earlier, while it would have gotten farther, it also would have stayed straighter and been even more open. So they were hoping for a big cut, basically, towards the end there, where they could bury it behind the cover.
Oh, we got the fist bump out there. We got some good team spirit. I like it.
Just checking on our view of the webcast. It looks like it's frozen. Hopefully.
Oh, it does.
Did you put it on the Chromecast behind us?
I did, but I did that from my phone.
Oh, well, the Chromecast one's working.
Okay, well then it's
So
just my
I-
iPad.
yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Good stuff. All right, red is going for the takeout on that yellow stone that was just
Yep.
thrown, as expected.
They're going for directional sweep here. Vice is yelling words of encouragement, which is always important. Everyone knows you sweep harder when someone yells at you.
Honestly, the yelling is one of the best parts of curling.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't screamed "hurry hard" at the top of your lungs, you really haven't lived.
Yes.
And red's still sitting one here. I feel like yellow might try and go for a little bit of a bump up on theirs to try and take two. This is the hammer shot. But
they don't.
really, you just want to at least get one in here.
They have the chance to take out the shot rock right now and stick around and get two.
Yeah, that's definitely not what they're going
That
for.
is not easy, and it is also definitely not what they're going for, unless they're going for the old S bend.
So an update on sheet D. Jimakov scored 2 in the 5th. So they are now
So
tied.
that's tied at 6.
Yeah.
That's a good game over there.
Oh, that's quite the comeback. They were down 5-0 after 2.
finicky weight calls here. Trying to decide whether to
Yeah,
sweep
I
or
think
not.
I think they need to be on that.
I would agree. It's
They're-
hard to tell from down here, but I think they do need to sweep a tad.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
that
right.
looks,
We
that's wide
are
enough that
we are
were
very
totally
wrong.
Yep.
A little heavy, if anything.
Oh, that's a tragedy. You know, you would have hoped that they at least got the bump in on the one that was already there, but it's going to be one red.
Yep. So yeah, that's gonna make it 4-2.
Yep.
Red?
Yeah, I say tragedy, but you know they're only down 2 and going into the 6th. That's certainly way, way.
Sorry, what was
Not
the
even
score
not
on that?
winnable yet.
It's 4-2 red right now.
Okay, having some issues with curling zone. 4-2.
Kind of lost my train of thought there. What I meant to say was, it is far from unwinnable. Being down 2 is not so bad.
You know what? So this is the 7th end here.
6th. They just put the score up.
7th. That,
5th,
yeah,
which
that,
was.
that's the number that comes after 5. Correct.
Yep, it is. Math. Got our math and our physics here today.
Yeah.
And of course, the guys out on the ice can't see this, but there's definitely some relatives in the chat cheering on our players here. That is always nice to see.
Looking for a oh, there,
Oh,
now we
the
get the
drop
boom
through.
drops.
Yep,
No.
I saw a couple.
He almost caught it too. It like just barely touched the ice.
Oh, we had a broom drop, and it looked like the
Spill.
thrower here spilled out a little bit. Yeah,
Things are really heating up here in the 6th end.
they are. And saw some good sportsmanship over there from the other team as well, making sure he was okay.
Yeah. I did appreciate that the other skip immediately dropped his broom upon seeing the red skip drop his. He was right on top of that one.
All right, here we go. Jackson.
Yeah, so that first red stone, they were looking for a center line guard. It ended up a little bit deep in the top of the house. Yellow could take this out here. Doesn't look like they're going to. Looks like
they're just going for
the
guard.
corner guard themselves.
They
Don't worry
actually,
about that later.
they might want it in the house actually from the weight and how much they're sweeping it.
Yeah, it looks like it's about T weight, so I think that's correct.
Yep. And it's a good shot. Right about
Sorry.
T. I think that's what they were going for.
Quick view of us accidentally clicked the wrong button there.
Hi, everyone.
I've turned this off.
Oh.
But if we get a break, we can introduce ourselves.
I'm sure that's why everyone's watching. So.
Yes.
Someone asked, what does that mean about dropping brooms? So I don't know why, but I guess it's just a thing. When someone drops their broom, it's pretty common for everyone else on the ice to also drop their broom, as Ricky
Sort of a
mentioned earlier.
tradition.
Yeah. In either
don't know why.
solidarity or to give them a hard time, depending on what your interpretation is. And nice shot by Red. Not quite going to get behind that first stone, but
Sorry, I keep trying to show the house view, but we've got to
there we
manually
go.
change the house camera. There we go. That's the right house.
yep. So you can see that second shot by Red, touching the 4-foot, not behind cover, so certainly able to be taken out. Yellow's probably looking to take that out and roll to the left and split the house since they have the hammer. When you have a hammer, once you get 2 in and split the house, you kind of get into this spot where even if the other team is taking out one of your stones, you can always just take it out in return and sit. Pretty much be guaranteed to have 2 stones scoring if you don't mess up.
Yeah, they're basically just chasing you at that point, and they don't really have a way to catch up. If you're split far enough apart, they'll never have a chance to get a 2-for-1.
Yep.
So you can just trade your way down and take 2 at the end.
Of course, you can go for the legendary double, which it looks like it's possible here. It's certainly hard, but they're definitely going for at least taking out that first stone and maybe rolling over to the second.
So I think from a high-level strategy here, I think Yellow's goal is to get 2 in this end, in the 6th, hold them to 1 in the 7th, and then take 2 again in the 8th.
Yep, to win by 1.
Yeah. they have it lined up well that they should have the hammer in the 8th end, so that's good. This is despite being down by 2. I guess what I'm saying is here it's a very even game. Scoring 2 with the hammer is very doable. So this is a very close game. What do you think here, Ricky? They're going for the takeout
They're going
up here.
for the takeout.
The tap
like,
back.
Yep, looks like not too hard of a takeout.
Yep.
Honestly,
They don't need much.
Yeah, that'll be enough to get it.
I think they're going to be a
Hopefully
little
out of the house.
outside, though.
Yep, and didn't quite curl enough.
Yeah,
They were just hoping to curl enough and then stick around, obviously. But
good sweep from the skip to make sure that redstone made it out. Of course, it's in the very useful back corner of play that does nothing except get in everyone's way, but it is still a live stone.
Yep, and I should have said this a moment sooner, but one of the difficulties with playing that takeout game is, as you could sort of see the last few shots, if you keep hitting it on the nose and sticking, the shot slowly, your rock slowly move further away from the button. So you can get to the point where, okay, we've traded 4 shots taking them out, and suddenly the rock that you just threw to take out is not scoring anymore. It's too far away. Of course. That last one didn't stick around. Red just took out that yellow stone, and now is sitting 2. Not sure exactly what yellow's going for here. They may just be trying to freeze onto the inside of that redstone. Oh,
looks like it's a lot of weight.
Wrong.
They're trying to move it.
Yep, totally wrong. Just taking that out. Yeah, I saw where they were holding the broom. I didn't see what curl they were calling. So.
I have accidentally just removed one of our cameras. That's not good.
All right, so now we're looking at that situation you were talking about earlier, Ricky, where Red's trying to split.
Yep.
They got a wide open house. They got 1 stone in it. They want to throw their other stone on basically as far away as they can, but still in the house.
Yep, this looks a little light. I don't think it's going to make it.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it to the house.
Yeah, this is a good shot.
You got all 4 people sweeping.
Right. The problem with doing that, not a problem, but the difference with doing that when you don't have the hammer is that, of course, that always leaves the just draw into the center for the hammer shot to take 1. But
there's nothing you can do about that. That's the best you can hope for.
Indeed. And when you're up 2, the other team taking 1 and giving you the hammer back, that's not terrible.
Yeah. It also forces them to make the shot, too. If they miss that shot and you steal 2, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Not saying at all that it's a bad plan, just explaining a little bit of the difference in the strategy.
So it looks like yellow's going for the inside hit and roll here. Looks like they got it. Yep.
So that's a good shot.
Well, they didn't get the other stone out, so now this does leave the opportunity for Red to throw the nose takeout.
Yeah, and then
have
just stick
3
right
seconds.
there in the center, which makes the draw to outcount it difficult. At that point, you'd be doing
They'd be doing the nose hit
takeout.
takeout.
The nose hit takeout to just sit and hopefully outcount. There are still 6 stones left in the end.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. So, looks like they did not hit it quite on the nose. They instead peeled it. Still good. They still got the Yellowstone out of there, and they have the house split. I can see a reason why they might want to go for that as well. They might prefer this over the nose hit because now Yellow has to make the draw instead of being able to make the nose hit, which some people prefer going for the nose hit over the wide open draw. Some people prefer the latter. It's kind of a preference thing, whether you're better at takeouts or or draws. So you know, maybe red realized that yellow's skip is better at making the nose hit takeouts and wanted to force him to make the draw instead, which is certainly a good idea.
We've got Yellowstone looking to come down right onto that redstone.
Yeah, I think they're going for the inside freeze here, which would be very good.
That is a great shot. I would have liked it just a
Yeah.
little bit higher.
I don't
so
think
a
it
little
really
bit
froze,
lighter,
though.
But yeah,
They can still hit it straight
Right.
out.
you know, even just like 3 inches shorter than that, to have a little bit of an angle on it to make the takeout harder.
Yeah, I think
would've
they.
been great,
I think
but
like 2 inches more inside. I mean,
that's about as close as you can get without being perfect.
yeah, that's.
unfortunately.
This is where curling comes down in the game of inches, right? If that stone was 3 inches farther up and 1 inch to the left, probably, it would be almost impossible to get out. As right now, I think getting it out is not too bad.
Yep. That's what they're going for. Of course, they do still have to make the shot.
Yeah.
Looks like it's curling pretty hard out to that outside.
Yeah,
I
they
think
might
they'll
get
still have
their own with some collateral damage here. Yeah, but they're stuck around, so they're fine trading.
A little bit of high fives out there for that shot.
Yep. So if you're yellow here, what can you do besides throw stones in the middle? Like what?
Well,
I
this
mean, you
kid's
really
got
want to
both
score
his
2.
stones.
So the only way you're going to do that is if both these stones count. So
Yep.
what's your path towards doing that other than hoping they miss?
Well, I was going to say that's a hard call because, he just made his first takeout. Can't really count on him missing the second.
Yeah, so I think the only play you have is basically a similar shot to what they just went for, the inside freeze on the right side here.
Yep. You can actually try and
That's
get
a really hard shot because there's not a lot of room for error there.
Sure, I was going to say you can actually try and get a little bit behind that one on the left and sit half white, be behind it, and
Yeah, you're not. I don't think you're going to be able to get.
I mean, you're looking for
You're not. You got to be behind it and closer than it.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for like 1.5 square foot of space. It's a hard target to hit,
Yeah.
but
I think they're going for the freeze that I talked about on the right here. Like I said, they need it to be frozen on there, but also out counting it, which is not a lot of space there. But they got a chance.
Yep, good weight call. They're at least shot rack right now.
Yeah. So now you force them to make a shot, and if they miss this, you can get your 2. If they can't, you take your 1 and try to steal next end.
Yep. And he just threw that stone. He's got the line. He's got the weight for his hammer shot if he needs it to just take one.
Mm-hmm.
And or take 2, like you said, if they miss this.
This looks a little narrow. They might be on their own here.
Yeah, I think they missed the broom, and they're definitely going to hit their own.
Yeah, they are going to hit their own. What they need to try to do here is try and roll this in if they can, which is definitely possible. Oh, no, that worked well, too. Nice. Hit the outside of it and knocked it back. Nicely done. Good adjustment.
Good plan B.
Yeah.
Yep, and the
very good adjustment.
yellow team tried to sweep that second red one out, but didn't quite get it.
So, yellow pretty much just needs to touch white here, more or less.
Yep, I think they're throwing the same shot. That always makes me nervous because if you're throwing for the center, you have much more vertical distance that you can hit and be scoring. Not vertical,
Yeah,
yeah.
Y-axis.
Right. If you're going for that more outside shot, it's a little bit narrower of a target to hit. But he hit it the first time, so.
Yeah, I agree. I would aim for the center just because that gives you the most leeway on both sides.
Yep.
But this looks good.
Got the
Line's
sweepers
great.
on. Don't think they really need it too much.
It's going to be
Looks like
weight
a pretty
only.
good shot. Oh, and sweeper's trying to finish it.
Yep.
I don't think
They got
hurt
it.
at
They
this
don't.
point.
They don't
Looks like
need
a
to.
good
They,
shot.
yeah, they need to get off, if anything.
Yep. Nice shot right to the
See
tee.
if the Vice can get it out.
And a little
No,
further.
no chance.
All right, so good shot by yellow to take 1 there. Leaves them down 1 and red with the hammer. Fist bumps, high fives all around. Don't even think those people are on the same team.
Great sportsmanship.
Oh man, that one shoelace there is making me nervous on that slider foot.
Which one?
somebody has their shoelaces tied very long over there, and
They're just trying to live dangerously.
he is. Not even a parent. I'm sitting here going, oh no, don't fall over. You know, that thing I do like once every week or two.
We got 9 seconds
So
on
it
the
looks
clock.
like on sheet D, they've started their next end, but they haven't posted. They've started the 7th, but they haven't yet posted the score for the 6th.
Gotcha.
As soon as they do, we'll update our scores.
Good call on remembering to look over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I know that, but we can start it before our clock starts.
so now if you're yellow, you're down 1 with 2 ends left, no hammer. The calculation here is a little bit different, I think. You're gonna need to steal at least once.
Oh yeah.
Stealing 2 is pretty difficult in curling. Possible, but difficult.
Yep. Oh,
So what do you like? Do you like trying to steal 2 in a row for the win, or do you like try to give up 1,
Oh, I like
score 2, and play an extra end?
come on, man. Think big. I like trying to steal 2 in one end.
Have you considered stealing 3? But so here's the thing: if you steal 2, you still need to then steal again. You need to steal 2 and then 1,
Sure.
or blanket somehow. But that's really hard in the last end because they're not going to do that on purpose.
Well, and yeah.
they're going to have a
when
hammer.
you don't have the hammer, blanking the end is essentially should be impossible.
Yeah, they had to completely flash their last shot.
Right.
So an update on sheet D, yellow, Chumakov stole 1
Oh yeah.
in
Wow.
the 6th.
There you go. So
So
that
it's
is
also-
That's quite a
currently
comeback from them.
It
Yeah,
is,
also a
so
tight
7 to
game.
6.
Yeah. Well, they were down 5-0 after 2, and now
Yeah.
they're up
Up 1.
7-6.
All right. So good shot from Red here. I think that's at least partially behind the cover.
Oh, we need to switch this.
That would be why I was showing an empty house.
Yep. There we go.
I thought there was a rock
Sorry
in there.
for the delay on switching to that other.
There we go.
Oh, and
Here's the
we do
house
have an
cam.
excellent suggestion in the chat of Steel 8, which, you know,
You
why
know, I
not?
never thought of that. I think that's a genius level play right there.
Especially this,
Yeah.
this point in the end.
really, the other team will never see that coming. They won't even plan for it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do if they're a genius? You just can't account for that.
Right. Good shot from Yellow here. I don't think it's going to have enough to actually hit that out of the house. It's just going to kind of knock it out of the cover.
Yeah.
So Red is still counting. They're still shot rock, but not guarded at all. And I think that Red may be going. I thought they might be going for a draw behind that Yellowstone in the house.
Yeah. Someone in the chat asked about time left, which I think was answered by someone else who's here. But yeah,
Yep.
Red has 10 minutes and 40 seconds left. Yellow has just short of 12. Should be plenty of time for both teams.
Yep.
We hopefully do not have any death clock situation here. So that's
And
good.
if anybody missed the earlier discussion on that, that is not total play time. We don't have 20 minutes left in the game. That is thinking time. So that basically that goes from whenever the opposing team clears the house after their shot until the shot that you are throwing passes the tee line. So you're not penalized if you're throwing slow shots like guards and draws as opposed to takeouts. It's really just how much time are you taking to think about the next shot you want to throw. All right. And that red shot's not quite in line with their first. I think Yellow is still out counting that shot that they just threw. So still looking at 1 red, second shot Yellow. And Yellow definitely has a path to take out that back redstone.
So there's a question in the chat about why is there random screaming? You might be hearing the girls over in sheet D, which you can't really see on the webcast.
Right.
But there's another game going on.
Yeah. So the
On the
mics on the ice are definitely picking up a little bit of that other game as well.
Yellow looks like they're going for the takeout here. They got it peeled out nicely.
Yep. Not sure if that's the one they were going for. I didn't see the call.
Yeah,
But-
I couldn't tell. They were both like right next to each other basically. So it's
Yeah. Would have been nice to get to that back one because now Red's going to try and put a stone back, guarding it again. But hopefully they'll get another shot at it. Up to 47 viewers.
I think that's a record for at least the last 2 hours.
It's certainly a record for this Let's
Agreed.
draw.
Yeah.
I think what it's saying is that these guys have more friends than I do.
Well, that, yes, yes.
Or bigger families, you know. All right, so let's
Red's
see.
trying to guard up,
Yep, looks
and
like
I think they got it perfectly
I
right
think
here.
that line was
That's a nice
better
shot.
than the last shot,
Yeah.
so definitely going to be very hard to get to that back stone.
Well, actually, looking from here, I actually think they can see about half of it, and they have the in-turn available from the other side. So
All right, fair enough.
it's definitely not easy, though. It's not going to be an easy shot for
Let's
them.
say it's not trivial. It's not terribly difficult. It's just,
We're about to see.
I mean, considering that they hit the front stone on that last shot.
All right. A lot of weight, which is what they're going to need on this shot. Needs to
Nice
move.
smooth slide out.
I think this has it.
Yeah, that's
this
looking
this
good
is
for
going to
me.
get it perfect.
I think that's even.
It might
gonna
even
stick
stick.
around.
Oh, not
no,
quite.
Not quite.
I don't think they could have stuck because he pretty much rolled right on the outside of that guard. So yeah.
Good
That
shot.
was
Though.
as good
it's
as
very
it could
nice
do.
to get that out of there, and now yellow with shot. So.
Yep.
Can't ask for more than that. I think.
Well,
Red,
they could have asked for 8, but you know.
Yeah, fine. Red is trying to peel this guard so that they could get to Yellowstone now. This is something I feel like we always struggle with at our games. Is sometimes it just feels a little bad to be trying to take out a guard stone.
Yeah, peeling guards.
Which is a silly feeling because it's often very useful. You know, there you go. Now they can get to the shot rock and take it out.
Yeah, no, it's very important to peel guards, and yeah, it is just kind of feels bad, but
It sometimes feels like a wasted shot, but it's really not. I mean,
yeah.
you need it to be open in order to access the rocks in the house.
And sure, they can put it back, but they need to make it. Generally speaking, I think it's an easier shot to peel a guard than it is to put one exactly where you need it.
Yep.
There's a lot more margin of error on the takeout.
Yeah, yellow is actually
The
good
weight's
for
not
the
a big
takeout
deal.
here, though, not the guard
Yep.
on it. So they are hoping to.
They're
hit
trying
this
to
red
split the
stone
house.
And, yeah, split the house. Stick around.
I think they're
Probably
going
gonna be
to.
a little bit on the inside of it, so they're gonna roll.
Oh yeah, they didn't quite split it, but they did almost freeze each other. So
Oh, and that is.
that's probably better actually.
Yeah, I don't think that is doubleable, which I will
No,
say
it-
again.
They're quite close together.
It's still a word.
So yeah, I think the best you can hope for on this is red is to hit that front one and pop the back one out. The front one
Yeah.
might roll a little bit, but
I think you
I
still
would think it's gonna stay in the house.
I think you still do that though, because then if you do it again, it'll be theirs that pops out and yours that sticks.
Sure. And that's if you nose it. They're definitely hitting the outside if this curls enough to actually hit it.
Yeah, I think
It
they're gonna peel, not nose
may-
it.
Yeah, it may not curl enough.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
there you go, straight through.
Okay, well, this is the opportunity that yellow needs here.
Yep. He's calling it guard. I would almost
I'd
just
split it,
the
I
house.
think.
Yeah, I'd throw one over to the right side on the tee line, but I am not the most experienced curler or the best strategist, so I am not going to criticize this decision at all.
So there's a question in the chat. Who has the hammer? I believe that is
Red has the hammer.
Has the
There.
hammer. Team of Bear.
Yep, yellow took one last in.
Do we have a little like hammer icon we can put on the score thing?
Not right now.
Okay.
This is the new
No.
system we're using, and
Fair enough.
I asked about that yesterday, and it's that perhaps later.
You can see it on the stream, barely. It's in the back on the scoreboard. There's a little hammer thing
Yeah,
on the
if-
Although
top
that's
left.
indicating,
If you squint really hard and have a telescope, I think you can see it.
but that's indicating who started out with hammer, not
Oh, is
who
it?
has hammer in this
I
end.
misunderstood that.
But
sorry.
if you follow on Curling Zone, I'm
Apologies.
updating all of the scores, and you can see who scored in the last end, and it's the other team that has hammer.
Yeah. Well, you could maybe see the entire score sheet back there and count if you have
I don't think
the
there's
best vision ever.
Yeah, all right, we've got another question of what does having the hammer mean? It means that that's the team that has the last shot in this end. It's an advantage to have the last shot because, well, you have the last say.
Yep.
It doesn't always mean that you score, but it means you have an opportunity to do so.
Right. So we were chatting a little bit and didn't really comment on that last shot.
Sorry about that.
There was that's fine. There was a really legendary triple that could have happened there, but not enough weight. And, you know, it's kind of dreaming a little bit. But a good takeout, popped one out, you know, knocked things around. And we're back to yellow's shot. I think yellow is still sitting too. So they're
Yes.
probably just going to throw another one in that's not close to the other two. Didn't see exactly what they called.
This is still a few more skips. Stones left.
Yeah. Actually, they may be guarding that one in the center.
Yeah. think that's what they're going to do.
I think they're out counting that red one up there now.
Yep.
So they're
Yeah, despite having just talked about this 30 seconds ago, I forgot who had the hammer, and thus my call did not make sense. A little bit of light sweeping. Looks like a good shot, though. Waiting for it to hook in a little bit and then finish it off.
yeah, I think they're gonna try and get it in.
Yep, they're going for the hard sweep at the end here,
They,
and that's a good shot.
Yeah, they're just short of out counting, I think, though.
Yeah, but it's probably more important to protect
Yeah, it's
the two
definitely
rocks
more
they
important
have.
to protect
yeah.
that shot rock than it is to out count red.
I'm just trying to live the dream where you protect and out count.
It's good to dream. Good to have dreams.
Yep. Never stop believing. So,
So if
what's
you're
the
red
play here for red? You start taking shot. Do you want to take the yellow ones out, or do you want to throw yours in?
It looks like they're talking about hitting that stone that yellow just threw. I don't think that's a bad plan.
Answer a question from the stream. Do you get the hammer by winning the last end? It's the opposite, actually. Whatever team did not win the last end gets the hammer. So if you score in one end, your opponent will get the hammer for the following end.
Yeah, and that's why it's sometimes the person with the hammer, that's why someone might occasionally blank an end, which is intentionally scoring 0. Because if you're only going to score 1 with a hammer, sometimes it's better to just say, you know what, I'm going to take 0 and keep the hammer and try and score 2 or more in the next end.
Yeah, and the easiest example of that would be something like you're up 1 in the 7th end. You would rather blank it so that you then keep the hammer for the last end, where all you have to do is not let them steal to win. Whereas if you score 1, you then give them the hammer down by 2. Most people would rather be up by 1 with the hammer than down by 2 without the hammer in the last end.
Yeah, then you can just sort of play takeout game or, what have you.
Yeah. So it looks like we got a timeout called here.
Yep, just getting some drinks.
I believe each
Yellow's
team
thinking
gets one
pretty hard about
timeout.
this.
Is that correct? Each team gets one timeout, I think.
I believe that is the case.
I think so.
We're gonna say it's correct.
Until one of the timers comes by and corrects
Yeah.
us. So it
Looks like I think they're going for the run back double here. So they're trying to hit that front stone either probably about just on the nose, hit it back into that shot rock with enough weight that both of them spill out.
Looks like they're going straight for the legendary status play here, where you get the run back double. So
an update on sheet D. Looks like they blanked the 7th end.
so there you go. That's yeah. So red was down by 1 in the 7th, and rather than tie.
Ooh, and this looks a little light. I think this is going to overcurl compared to what they wanted, which is why they have the sweeper on it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna hit.
They're
out
going to
the
get
side.
the front one, but not the back.
Yeah, so
God, the power of the guns in the t-shirt just weren't quite enough. The issue is that the opposing team also has one person in a t-shirt for the intimidation factor, so no one's really winning that game.
yes.
Surprised. It's really cold outside today. I'm surprised
It
it's
is,
warm,
and
that warm
I'm
enough
sure
in
it's
there.
also
I'm
cold
sure
on
it's
ice.
warmer in there than it is out.
Outside, yeah.
I
Way
belie-
warmer.
I believe the air temperature in there is about 34, 35 degrees, if I'm
Oh.
reading the chart we have in here
Yeah,
correct.
it says 34.9.
Yep.
We have all of the data here.
Well, I mean, they're also pretty hyped, pretty late in this game, moving around a lot.
Yep, sweeping keeps it warm.
Yeah.
And
Certainly.
yellow's going for pretty much the same shot here to put that back, I believe.
Yep.
Definitely has to curl a good
Yeah,
bit, so
defi-
they don't want to sweep it.
It can. It can. It might end up behind.
I was going to say it might be a touch heavy and get past it, actually.
Yeah.
Going to tap it, actually,
Ooh.
a little bit.
Ooh,
I don't-
I think
honestly
they could
don't
have got
hate
it
that.
around. I think they may have been able to get it around and behind, but then you risk going too far as well. So that's
Yep, so now we are on Red's hammer shot. I think that was actually a very nice shot because, yeah,
The
so
double's
you
there.
you can see where he's holding the broom. They kind of need to do the double because even if you hit one of those, you're going to sit farther out than the other yellow stone. So you really need to hit in between and get both of them out and sit for one.
yeah. I think if I'm red, my goal here is I just let them take one, because you're going into the last end tied and you have the hammer, which is fine. If you let them take two, you need to get two. If you score one, which is very difficult at this point, you're still giving them the hammer with two left.
And that's not.
I'd rather
that's
have the hammer tied though.
I mean, that's not bad though. Being up two.
Yeah. But given how much harder that shot is, whereas just taking out one of these stones is should be pretty makeable. They're going for the double.
They are, and
I think they
might
have it.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely
real close.
Want to be on it with the sweep, but very nice shot. Sweeps that yellow stone. Reds can take
they
one.
got it, yeah.
That was a very nice shot.
Very nice.
Good shot by the Reds skip there, Ethan, I believe.
Yeah.
So that is 5-3.
Yep, so red is up two going into the last end, which means that yellow has the hammer. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about, do you want to be up two with the hammer, or, you know, up two without the hammer? Do you want to be, you know, up one with the hammer? I honestly don't mind this for red because yellow has not scored more than one in any end yet.
Oh, I don't mind it. I'm just saying the relative ease of the shot.
Sure.
It's, you know, it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. I'd also like to call out Frank here, who's talking to us about curling in short sleeves, where he is known for wearing about 4 sweaters every time he plays. So I don't know what's up there, Frank. But
that may have been Allison, not Frank.
Yeah, well, something about living in glass houses and throwing stones. I guess we have the 7th end intermission here, the 7th inning stretch, 7th end stretch.
Yep, just a little bit of chatter going on between the teams.
Yep.
Figuring out strategy for the last end. Over on sheet D, looks like they're about 4 stones into the last end there. Yellow's currently sitting 1, but is open for takeout. All right, here we go. Shaheen with the first shot for Hebert in the last end.
Looks like that was Allison talking to us there, and Frank has defended us, as all good skips must do.
So Red's throwing this through the house here. Not sure if that was the intent or not. I think it was.
Yeah, so sometimes when you're ahead late in the game, you actually do just throw your stone straight through because you don't want to give your opponent any potential guards to hide behind. It sounds a little bit counterintuitive. I didn't really get it for the longest time, but it does make sense. The less stones in play, the harder it is for your opponent to
Yep, this yellow stone
hide.
might hog, actually.
Yeah. With the idea being with the wide open house at the end, you can just play takeouts and trade.
Yep.
It's very hard to score two points when there's nothing to hide behind, because anything you throw in, they just throw right out.
Indeed. That was unfortunate for yellow that they hogged that. The sweepers were on it, but you don't want to be, you know, red through there is through, but you don't want to be giving up a stone when you're behind.
Yeah, you need those guards when you're behind.
Yeah, I know that some people watching the stream were not here earlier, so in case anyone wasn't aware of the rule, there is a free guard rule where for your first 4 stones, you can't take out any guards. So if they had gotten that over and it was a guard, then this stone from red, they would not have been able to throw to take out that stone.
Yeah.
Not until the first, second stone.
Yep. And a guard being anything that is not in the house, so the big blue circle inside.
And I just said first, second stone, which is very confusing. I meant the first stone thrown by the second.
The first one you throw after the second one, right?
Yeah, right. Anyway,
So
red through in the house, sure, fine.
yeah, it does give yellow something to freeze to, which they might be going for here. The line call looks about right, but I can't tell on the weight.
Yep. However, then
So-
if you're just playing the stack up freezes game,
Yeah,
you
if
know,
they
you're
can
probably
keep up
only
with
going to
you.
end up with 1 if red keeps up.
Yeah, and they're definitely not going for it. This is pretty light. I think it's going to get over as long as they don't
Yep.
stop.
I'd stay on that sweepers.
Yeah, they got it.
Oh, it's comfortably over. Never mind.
Yeah, they can see it a lot better than you can.
They can. This is a fact. And as I said before, I am not the best weight caller.
Correct.
so guard. There is room for red to put another guard behind there, which I think. No, they're just going for the peel, I think. I saw them smack the broom on the ice behind it, like they might be going for a guard.
A lot of weight on that one.
And I'm hearing him yell at the sweepers and thinking I might have been pronouncing their lead's name wrong. So I apologize to anyone whose name I have been butchering all day here. Good stone. That, you know, yellow is still in play, but that pretty much moves their stone away from being useful at all. You're not going to promote that into the house. You're not really going to hide anything behind that. You might trip over it.
Yeah, that's the worst. So, yellow, I think, is going for the takeout here. Yep. They're going to try to get the takeout and stick on the nose hit here.
Yep, I think I like that line. I like the sweepers being on it.
Yep. I think they got it. Yep.
Yep.
I will say, if you're red right now, you are very happy with how this end's going. Even though yellow has a stone in the house, it is going to be very difficult for them to score 2 here. There are no real meaningful guards.
Nothing to hide behind.
Yeah, so the house is wide open. You just need to make takeouts, and as long as you do that, you can guarantee a 1-point win for yourself here.
Yep. Honestly, you don't even really care if you stick around. You just have to hit the stone, which takes off a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, I would say you honestly
exactly
probably want to peel and split more than stick around, but sticking around's not bad.
This looks a little light. I feel like this might over curl and miss, actually.
Yeah, they're going to need to sweep this because it is not that much weight. They're trying to keep it, but yeah, I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, and there it is.
Yeah.
There's the miss. Quick update on sheet D. Yellow is currently sitting 1, it looks like. And I believe it is yellow's shot, so they're probably going to throw a guard over there. But people on the stream can't really see that, so.
So now if you're yellow, you want to split the house.
Yep. Yeah, that was really the opportunity yellow needed to get ahead in the split the house, take out game. Does, of course, need to make it to the house.
Yeah, it's going to need some help.
Very guardy.
Skip's getting up there. He's trying to help.
Yep. Well, so it did make it to the house. However, that is in line to guard their stone.
Yeah, it does give them more of an opportunity here, more plays to be made, because they have a stone protected. So.
Yep. So that may not have been plan A, but it was certainly a decent plan B. You can get around that to hit the back arm. You know, with, say, like a back line takeout, hack weight takeout.
Yep.
You can hear down at the other end, he says, yeah, I can't see that. So
yeah,
they may be going for the peel instead.
The skip was asking how much of this you can see, and the shooter said maybe 3%, maybe 0.
It's awfully precise.
Yeah, very specific.
Small but non-zero.
Yeah. Looks like they're just peeling the guard.
Yep. It's honestly pretty light for a peel.
It's enough.
It's
plenty.
Enough. Yeah, it's getting it out. I feel like generally with a peel, you're chucking it to really make sure it gets out of play. But no need to do that if you actually hit your line.
Yeah, I think it's more about knowing what you can throw consistently. That was plenty of weight for the peel as long as you hit the right spot. So you don't need a really high weight all the time on that.
And this does look a little bit heavier than the last one. I feel a little bit better about this shot watching it come down.
Yeah, definitely going to get farther.
I don't know that it's really going to curl enough to split by perhaps the strict definition of the word, but it is far enough away to make double. Certainly very difficult.
Yeah.
At this point, I would say, I might say red's just trying to take that out and roll a little bit to the left in line with that yellow. Not sure. I mean, even just taking it out and sticking right there would be fine because they would be counting.
I
They
think
don't need to score. They just need to stop them from scoring too.
I think the peel of the front one is the safe play here. I think another decent option would be to try to freeze on one of them. That is definitely a harder shot. Freeze is much more difficult than a peel, but
Yep.
I like the idea of that.
They started coming over.
Yeah, I think
pretty
they're gonna
early.
nose
This
it.
might.
Oh,
No,
they
this
might
is
actually-
gonna miss.
No, they might get it all the way across. Oh,
Nope.
nope,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
they missed.
past it.
Yeah, that started curling very early. I don't know if it maybe picked a little bit on something. I don't think it was hard enough for a pick, but unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit down on the weight, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we were saying with the last shot that his peel of that first shot was a little down from what we might have expected. So I think yellow at this point is just trying to put another one in the house and saying, all right, put something in and we'll take it out. Still be sitting.
Yeah.
Scoring.
It's important that they don't give any place for red to hide behind them.
Yep.
And
or to
block.
Or to draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Draw to the button behind them. So this is going to be a good shot. Pretty much going to be on the center line. I think it'll be touching. I mean, they only
Yeah, they
need
might as well
two,
get it in, yeah.
But that's in. It's a good shot. And I think they're
We-
peeling this.
We are down to the final hammer over on sheet D. Looks like red, who is down one, they need to put this basically just touching the 8-foot to force an extra
Yep,
end.
maybe half white.
Yeah, maybe.
Take one and
Yeah.
tie it up.
Looks like yellow's gonna peel the top one here.
Red. Red is
Red,
going to peel
yeah.
yellow stone.
Yeah, yellow's probably not peeling their own stones. It's generally a bad plan.
It is. Oh, and it looks like over on D, red may have been just a little bit heavy, but they might have to measure that. I can't really see. Anyway, on our sheet, yellow's still sitting 2, which they are certainly happy with. Sheet D may be tied, but I really can't tell.
Yeah, I think they're gonna call for a measure on that, considering it pretty much decides the game. Well, if yellow gets it, it decides the game. If red gets it, it's going to an extra end. But yeah. Meanwhile, over here, they got the top guard taken out of there. Still sitting 2 for yellow with the hammer. So.
Yep. The thing I would be scared of yellow here is they can only block up one side with whatever they throw here, and I would be nervous about red throwing their hammer shot behind their guard.
Right.
On
Or
the
promoting
4-foot.
their guard.
Probably just the draw to the 4-foot. But
Yeah.
anyway, sitting behind that guard and not being able to be taken out. Then you got to curl around the guard and try and get out of there somehow and sit 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yellow threw a guard on that left side to block in the draw from that side.
Yeah.
Red still has it clearly from over here.
Yeah, I think they wanted that in the house.
Yep, and from the way they're pointing with the brooms, it looked like they were thinking of maybe doing the takeout on that right yellow stone and trying to roll in.
Yep. That at least makes it so if they take out that yellow stone, the best that yellow can do is tie them.
Yep.
And then
Indeed.
they'll have an extra end where they have the hammer. So,
Yep.
and
I
if they
like
make
that
the
plan.
roll, then they're probably golden.
Yep.
If they can roll behind.
Yep, just a little bit of discussion here amongst the team on where exactly they need to hit it and where they want to end up so that
Yeah.
the sweepers know what to do.
They got time left. I'm assuming that if you go to an extra end, you get a time extension.
I would think. I don't know the rule
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, I don't
but
know the rule on that. By the way,
Looks
there
like,
is a
looks
measure.
like they have 4 minutes 30 and 6 minutes 40 left between
Yeah.
the 2 teams, so they're not in any danger of running out of running out of time right now.
By the way, there is a measure happening right now over on D.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting times. I don't know if we can get a view where we can see that happening, but I
Uh,
don't think we can right
we
now.
can, but I think we're about to start up again on sheet
Yeah.
B.
Yep. Yeah, they're going out.
So-
It's-
Setting up for the shot. And this is big. This
It's 2 stones and the spinny doohickey. You know, it's
looks like he hit the broom here. Definitely looking for some curl.
And it is yellow on sheet D, by the way.
Gotcha. All right, so they're definitely going to hit this yellow stone, and that
Yep.
looks like a nice roll.
That's a good roll, yeah.
That is a great shot
Nice
by
shot.
Red. There
Ye-
is
You can probably hear the applause from the war room in here.
indeed.
A lot
Great
of
shot.
clapping.
Great shot by Red Skip there. Yellow does still have a shot to tie this.
They just called their timeout as well.
Yep. So Yellow does have a shot on that. It didn't roll all the way behind the guard.
Yeah, they can get it. It's
So they
just
essentially-
not easy. They got to worry about hitting their own is the big problem.
I wouldn't even say it's not easy. I would say that's a moderate shot. You know, you could. I think they can pretty much see the whole thing.
Well, they got to make sure that they don't hit it. If they hit it too far on the right side, they're going to run into theirs in the back, and then
Sure.
it doesn't matter.
But
'cause
there's a lot of room there to not hit theirs. And
there's
they-
adequate room.
And the other thing is, you know, they have to stick, but they have to stick touching any paint at all. So there's plenty of room for them to roll a bit and not have to worry about it going out. But we will see.
Yep.
So Judy, sorry about that. You said that
So-
counted for Yellow, so they took
So
the game.
yes, so Chumikov won the game
All right.
over on sheet D.
Final score there was 8-6.
That's right. And while we're waiting, I can update and bring up the women's standings. Just one moment. Here we go.
Exciting game here on B. This is right down to the wire. And you can hear the claps there for the girls coming off of sheet B.
So now it looks like the Gornova and Chumikov are tied now in the standings.
So I'm guessing if there's a tie after the second round robin, they have like a playoff single elimination game or something, or do they just go to tiebreakers and stuff?
I don't know.
All right, so here we go.
All right. Yeah, here is
Skip Elijah here, setting up for possibly his final shot of the game. For him, hopefully not.
yeah. He's hoping this is not his last shot.
Yeah. Try not to take sides as the casters. But
I think it's
Yeah,
fair
let's
to
choose.
cheer for an extra end as a caster, regardless.
I don't know. I'm a little chilly here sitting by the window, actually.
You have a jacket right behind you.
I do. All right, so here's the shot coming out.
They're going for like the back line, probably
Yeah,
hack weight-ish
that
take
looks
out here.
a little wide of where he was holding the broom to me.
Yeah.
And also not a ton of
Oh,
weight.
it's moving already, though.
It is moving.
Yeah, it's moving
Yeah,
a lot.
I think it's
Sweepers
slow.
are
By
on
the
it.
guard.
Ooh, I think that, yeah,
It's slow.
that's a shame. So that's going to be on the guard, and that's going to be a point for Red and a victory.
Yep.
Great game by both teams.
Yeah, very
You know,
good.
This was very close. There were no blowout ends. I think everyone could be happy with the way they played here. And the handshakes.
And
And the broom drops.
and the intentional broom drops
Intentional
all
broom
around.
drops.
I feel like they were waiting for that this whole game.
Yeah.
So
All
that
right.
is 6-3 for a bear.
Yep.
Good game for both teams, and we can probably see the standings here in a moment.
Just 1 second. Yes, here are the men's standings. Clausen is still in the lead with a bear in second.
Gotcha.
And Gartner and Oursler-Cherins tied for third.
Got it.
All right, so I
Oh.
think that is our broadcast. I
Yeah.
can click. You can see
Oh,
your,
sure.
your webcasters here. Oh, let me turn off the standings. Here we are. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back on tonight. I believe the next draw. I've lost the piece of paper. With its
I
information.
believe it is at 7 o'clock.
That is right. It's
And-
7 o'clock, and our feature sheet will be Oursler-Cherins versus Clausen.
Excellent. And
Right.
Travis and I will not be here for that one, but it's been a pleasure casting for you, and
Have a
enjoy
good
your
evening.
day.
Yeah. Good curling.
Good curling.
Good curling.